You ready, brother?
Yes. Yeah, we on.
All right, what's happening, family? My name is Cacique. I'm here with the young lion, Mario, on his podcast. I'm very happy to support. You know, I urge young people, man, to
And
stop.
we have Three Kings Day. That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's not our holiday, Mario. That's another.
They celebrated heavy in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, but that's through colonialism. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying that's still an American holiday in Puerto Rico?
Yeah,
like
an
American.
That's all, because it's all through religion, Mario. It's all colonialism, man.
But isn't it all centered around the birth of Jesus?
And that's also well, you know, the kind of Christianity that black and brown folk follow in this country is called like the American version. It's very racist. There's no female in the Trinity, and that for me it makes it a homosexual or a religion, because woman is the beginning and the end. And any religion that doesn't have a woman in the Trinity as an important figure, more important than the man, or as important as the man, then it's flawed from the beginning, my man. Let's talk about that. You know what I mean? So all that is colonialist. What I'm talking about, when I'm talking about our traditions, I'm talking about comiendo verdura.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Una yautía con llame con bacalao.
Well, we survived.
I'm talking
made it through
exactly,
without
man.
the necessity of these extra products and extra food
exactly,
that we're
man.
introduced to.
And it's
we
food.
Survive off land, off
exactly,
nature,
man.
off
Food
nature.
off the land.
I'm
yeah.
100% with you on
I'm
that.
talking
I love
about
that.
el cuatro.
I love that. That's
el
very important. That's very important.
Those are instruments that speak about us.
And I think that's what godly is staying nature, staying natural, staying with
and see,
what,
that's a
what
different.
has been given naturally. Don't anything that's been given or man-made can be altered, as good as it may sound, or as easy as the technology might make your life. It can be a little too advanced for our evolution process and the way that we're developing as a people.
On a hot mic, saying that their soups use bioengineered meat and that only poor people eat them. In the recording, he said this:
"We have shit for poor people. Who buys our shit? I don't buy every products barely anymore. It's so healthy. Now that I know what the in it, bioengineered meat. I don't want to eat a piece of chicken that came from a 3D printer. You?
If the vice president of the company is talking about his soup this way, I'm never eating it again. But that's my opinion.
We can't mix ourselves into that, and that's what I feel becomes a lot of the problem.
And just remembering that it's okay for for white folks and other folks to have their holidays, but you got to remember what yours are, your traditions. I'm talking about, brother. I'm talking about knowing who our heroes are. You're a young lion. You're a young brother that I represent. You're trying to do things out here. You're a builder. You're a creator. You're an innovator. I look at young brothers like you like that, right? So do you know who Lolita Lebron is? And see, you should know that. Do you know who Donald Trump is? Obviously you do. And that should be a name that shouldn't be important to you in terms of value that they bring to you. Or other people like that. I'm just using him as a reference. You know what I'm saying? But Lolita Lebron was a sister who went to Congress and shot up some people in Congress. But she said she didn't go there to kill anybody. She went there to bring attention to the plight of the Boricua people. You know what I'm saying?
You're talking about that little terrorist group that actually infiltrated the Capitol.
Yeah, no, they weren't terrorists. They were liberators, Mario. Terrorists are what white people have done to us.
Yes, they said.
But when you're liberating your country, you're not a terrorist. You're a hero. And see, that's a person that should be a hero to us. But look at how a young brother like you, who has, I guess you have some Boricua blood in you, right?
Oh yeah, full.
Oh, see, and now you claiming that, but then you would.
I was raised out here, so I've been Americanized. You could say for the most part. I like America. I think American values are very good and solid, and people are fighting their way and risking their life passing through shark-infested waters, like I always say, and they're risking their lives going across that border with no food and risk of being kidnapped and put into human trafficking, getting slaughtered for their intestines, for human organ harvesting. There's all kinds of different dangers, and they go through all that just to get over here, knowing that they're gonna be kicked out. They know they're gonna get kicked out.
Well,
once they don't got papers and they're not born here, it's just the law of the land. That's just how it's been. It's nothing new.
You have a power to stop deportation for all.
Actually, I don't, and that's why we're here.
I need your help.
Okay.
Stop deportation! Stop deportation!
Thank you. All right. What I'd like to do. No, don't worry about it, guys. Okay, let me finish. Let me. How about these guys don't need to go. Let me finish. I respect the passion of these young people because they feel deeply about the concerns for their families. Now, what you need to know when I'm speaking as President of the United States and I come to this community is that if, in fact, I could solve all these problems without passing laws in Congress, then I would do so. But we're also a nation of laws. That's part of our tradition. And so the easy way out is to try to yell and pretend like I can do something by violating our laws. And what I'm proposing is the harder path, which is to use our democratic processes to achieve the same goal that you want to achieve. But it won't be as easy as just shouting. It requires us lobbying and getting it done.
It's nothing new, and us overwhelming our system, and especially our healthcare and our welfare system, overwhelming that with people that are from outside of the country, not finishing off. We had homelessness and all that before the influx of the migration. We had homelessness and poverty and deaths and crime and crack and addicts and all that. We had all that already.
So
but not to fix that first and then help other countries. I feel like we've helped other countries.
You say some interesting things, but let me respond to you, young brother. First of all, Lolita Lebron is somebody that you should read about and not slander. She's a hero. And then the other thing is that a lot of
I don't know if she was terrorist. I was just saying with what was deemed, because that was the only one.
But I would never use white words to describe myself or my own kind. I would never use words like that to describe us. That's their narrative. That's not mine. Yeah, so here's the other thing. A lot of the narrative that you use is a white racist, what was called the Christian right. That's their narrative. But here's
$+ a year from the federal government. So we were all ripped off by what happened because liberals in Minnesota didn't want to offend anyone. Now, I'm going to guess that many of you are wondering why it took years for anyone to notice this and why money being stolen, it grew bigger and bigger each year. Well, this is why. If anyone in Minnesota tried to speak up about it, they were called racist. And we know the word racist has been weaponized by the left, and the worst thing in the world for the woke movement is being labeled as a racist, so no one dared speak up. That is what happened, and here's the proof. According to local outlets, there were employees within their state government that became skeptical. Some of them worked in the Minnesota Department of Education. And according to the local NBC affiliate in Minneapolis, all the way back in 2021, mind you, so people knew, there was an ongoing legal fight with the Minnesota Department of Education, which was attempting to withhold reimbursement payments and prevent new meal sites from forming in the midst of suspected fraud. Now, this is about their Feeding Our Future program that was running, which the money was for, like it says, feeding hungry kids. The criminals, they were claiming to feed kids that never even existed, and then they went ahead and took the payouts from the state. So it was pretty simple, right? Almost too simple for someone not to get caught sooner, don't you think? So someone there knew something was wrong, and you know what happened? Whoever was trying to blow the whistle, they were called a racist.
What was called the Christian right. That's their narrative. But here's the thing, Mario. When you talk about welfare, and they can't dispute this, you can look it up. The Republicans know this. The Democrats know this. Welfare. More than 2/3 of the people. That means that more than 70 out of 100 people on welfare are white people. Okay, so there's no overburdening the system. And like you stated earlier, we had all that crime before.